20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower cleared.
Okay, we got a roll program.
Neil Armstrong reporting the roll and pitch program, which puts Apollo 11 on a proper heading. Plus 30 seconds.
Roll complete and pitch is program.
Altitude's 2 miles.
Oh, 11 Houston, you're good at 1 minute.
Downrange 1 mile, altitude 4 miles now. Velocity 2,195 feet per second.
July 16, 1969. The world knows this day as the blast-off of one of the first Apollo missions. 4 days later, it was the first time man landed on the moon. We acknowledge that this space team, Neil Armstrong, Mike Collins, and Buzz Aldrin, were sent from NASA and made their moonwalk that day. With Collins still in orbit, Neil placed the American flag in the dirt, took the notorious picture of the footprint, and placed a sign on the moon that says, "Here men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969 AD. We came in peace for all mankind." Signed by all 3 of the astronauts. After loading up the samples of the moon rocks and dirt, they met Collins in orbit on July 24, 1969, and headed back home to Earth. Is this what really happened, or was it a huge cover-up to make it seem like we had made it to the moon before Russia? There is one major issue of man even leaving the orbit of Earth, and that's the Van Allen belts. The belt is made of two huge belts of radiation that surround the Earth, shaped by Earth's magnetic field and pounded with high-energy particles from the sun's wind. It's been claimed that humans couldn't have passed through these belts without being fried with lethal dosages of radiation, let alone have these three men go to the moon in '69 with the technology they had back then. The scientists first discovered the belts in 1958, but didn't send a probe to research them until 2012. So how could they have known how to protect the spacemen? What kind of padding or material should they have used? They said that the padded walls of the Eagle, the spaceship they took to the moon. A popular question for most people who have seen the landing or that have watched it since the landing is that why did the flag flap in the wind? Some of the pictures and videos that the men brought home just don't make sense. In all of the pictures, there are no stars. Where do the stars go? Why would the government lie to us? Easy. We had to beat the Soviet Russians to the moon. The shadows that are in the pictures on the moon that they took, they just don't make sense. The sun would be the only source of light, other than their light that the astronauts brought with them. The only thing that doesn't add up is non-parallel shadows. If the sun is the only source of light, why do some shadows appear to point in multiple directions? For example, in one of the pictures taken, the astronaut's shadows matches up with the lander's, but there seems to be another shadow from the lander foot pointing towards the astronaut. There must be something like additional studio lights to explain this. In one of the pictures from the landing, there was a rock with a C printed on it. In movie sets and TV shows, they letter or number the props to match the letter or number on the floor where it is supposed to be. How would there have been a C on this rock when we were supposedly the first people on the moon? In another picture, it is of the astronaut, and in the reflection of his helmet, you can clearly see something that looks like a stage light. They do bring lights into space, but they don't look like stage lights. When landing the ship, the scientists and the workers of NASA said that when they landed on the moon, there would be dust and a small crater would have formed, but none of this happened. When they showed the ship landing on the moon, it just looked like it was sat down on the surface of the moon. No dust, no crater, no nothing. Suspicious? It gets worse. Some people have said that they have seen wires connected to the spacemen and to other props. You can clearly see something shining above their heads. What could that be? Take a look at this video. If the government really did fake this to make it seem like we got to the moon before anyone else, what else are they hiding from us? What else have they or will they trick us with? What did we really see on our screens in 1969? Was it the moon landing, or was it the set of a movie and the government tricking the world? We just simply didn't have that kind of technology yet. It is just really suspicious that President Kennedy could have just known when we would go to the moon. Coincidence? What do you think? I think not.
Man on the moon.
We copy you down, Eagle. Houston,
Oh, jeez.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.